whoever is watching this. Today I am doing a book review kind of video on these 3 books. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk about them and what I liked, maybe even read a quote or 2. I don't know, I just thought this would be an interesting video to film. So, let's go. So this is the first book, Eleanor Park, which is by Rainbow Rowell. So on the back it's just like a bunch of quotes, and I'm just gonna read the jacket. I hope that's what it's called. 2 misfits, one extraordinary love. Eleanor, red hair, wrong clothes, standing behind him until he turns his head, lying beside him until he wakes up, making everyone else seem drabber and flatter, and never good enough. Eleanor Park. He knows she'll love a song before he plays it for her. He laughs at her jokes before she ever gets to the punchline. There's a place on his chest just below his throat that makes her want to keep promises. Park. Set over the course of 1 school year, this is a story of 2 star-crossed 16-year-olds smart enough to know that first love almost never lasts, but brave and desperate enough to try. This book is really good. It's in my top 5 books. Not like top 3, but top 5, which is a lot because I read books a lot. And it's just really good. I loved it so much. I read it pretty quick. It's like not set now. It's set in like 1986, in this, August of 1986, and it's just really good. I loved it. I still love it. Like, if you're into typical like young adult love stuff like that, like Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, it's like around, like, it's really good, and I would recommend it if you're into love stories like that. Will Grayson by John Green and David Levitin. I'm going to read the back, and then I'm going to read this little page right here, which is kind of like to hook you in. Yeah. Will Grayson meet Will Grayson. One cold night in a most unlikely corner of Chicago, 2 strangers cross paths. 2 teens with the same name, running in 2 different circles, suddenly find their lives going in new and unexpected directions, culminating in heroic turns of heart in the most epic musical ever to grace the high school stage. That was the back. Now for this page. Will Grayson. And the kid looks at me for a minute and finally says, "What's your name?" This is freaking me out. Frenchies isn't a place for conversation. So I say to Piercings, "Can I have the magazine?" And Piercings hands it to me and through the opaque black plastic bag, for which I am very grateful. And he gives me my card and my receipt. I walk out the door, jog a half-block down Clark, and then sit down on the curb and wait for my pulse to slow down, which is just starting to do when my fellow underage Frenchie's pilgrim runs up to me and says, "Who are you?" I stand up and say, I'm Will Grayson. Willgrayson, he says, spelling impossibly fast. Yeah, I say. Why do you ask? The kid looks at me for a second, his head turned like he thinks I might be putting him on. And then finally he says, "Because I am also Will Grayson." I didn't read that when I first started reading the book. I kind of skipped over it. And it took me until chapter 9 to realize it was 2 different people. I was like so confused. So then once I realized it was 2 different people, I had to go back and like read up to that point again so that like I wasn't as confused. Yeah. So basically, this book, I love it. And I love it so much. Seriously. Like, it's just so well written. I think it's a great book. I don't know how to describe it. 2/3 of it's a love story. Then there's like 1/3 that's just about friendship and accepting who you are and stuff like that, and it's great. I definitely recommend this. And now for the third and final book, my favorite book ever. To all the boys I've loved before. That like completely made me go, oh. Yeah, you can see the cover. So I'm gonna read the back and then I'm gonna read the hopefully what is called a book jacket. When I write, I hold nothing back. I write like he'll never read it because he never will. Every secret thought, every careful observation, everything I've saved up inside me, I put it all in the letter. When I'm done, I seal it, I address it, and then I put it in my teal hat box. They're not love letters in the sickest sense of the word. My letters are for when I don't want to be in love anymore. Therefore, goodbye. Because after I write my letter, I'm no longer consumed by all my consuming love. I can eat my cereal and not wonder if he likes bananas over his Cheerios too. I can sing along to love songs and not be singing them to him. If love is like a possession, maybe my letters are like my exorcisms. My letters set me free, or at least they're supposed to. From To All the Boys. Now for this part. Lara Jean keeps her love letters in a hat box her mother gave her. They aren't love letters that anyone else wrote for her. These ones are ones she's written. One for every boy she's ever loved. 5 in all. When she writes, she can pour out her heart and soul and say all the things she would never say in real life, because her letters are for her eyes only. Until the day her secret letters are mailed, and suddenly Lara Jean's love life goes from imaginary to out of control. This is like not a typical love story. It did not go how I expected it to go. It's seriously such a good book. Like, please read it. If you see this, please just go and read this book. Thank you for watching this. If you made it all the way to the end, that's great. I will see you next time I upload. Peace out, Butter Scout.